Hey, hey. Welcome everybody to Miss Glow's Kitchen, where there's sugar, spice, and everything nice, where we slice, dice, and entice, using everything we can, from peppers to allspice. What's up, my people? Y'all know what time it is? See y'all in the kitchen. The perfect red pasta sauce is on our menu today. So let me tell you how I make my meat sauce for pasta. So you can swap out any of these ingredients. So I just want you to know it's a really versatile meat sauce. And if you don't want to put meat in it, you can just do everything else except the meat, okay? So I got green peppers, onions, of course celery under there, and I have mushrooms. You can leave the mushrooms out, definitely. I got Italian sausage and ground turkey, all right? So I got diced tomatoes from Hunt's, and then I have some tomato sauce. And then I have some seasonings off on the side. So I'm going to list everything in the description box down below, and you will be able to see how much I used. Okay? Now, we're putting everything into the pot. But before we go into this video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that share button, and that bell for notifications. All right, so we're going to brown our veggies a little bit before we go to the meat part. So we're going to let these cook down until the onions are translucent. Alright, so in other words, they're almost see-through. Alright, so make sure when you're doing the veggie part of this that you very lightly season these vegetables. Always season your food every single step of the way. So when you're making this sauce, it's perfectly fine for the veggie part if you just use salt and pepper. But if you want to put all of the ingredients that's going into the spaghetti sauce on the veggies at this point, you can, but just make sure you lightly sprinkle it. So remember, when you get that tomato sauce, if you use a tomato sauce other than if you don't use a spaghetti sauce out of the jar and you just use tomato sauce, remember that tomato sauce is almost like a blank slate. So it's almost like you've got to put in enough seasonings if you're going to draw the flavor out of your veggies and your meat. All right, so you have to be really careful. But spaghetti sauce is fairly easy. It really is. It just takes some time to cook, and that's what you want to do. Alright, it just takes a little bit of time to cook. Because I'm going to let this go. So make sure you stir it up, and make sure you keep watching it. You don't want to burn at the bottom. It's going to leave a nasty, like a putrid taste. It does. And you don't want that. So just be really careful doing this, and we're good to go. That you taste it every step of the way too. So when this cooks down, you can grab one of those veggies out of there with a fork or something and taste it. Do that, but you want to make sure. So if you have those veggies and they have absolutely no flavor when you're done with it at this point, or you're almost done with it, put a little more seasoning on it and then keep going. We're going to move on to the next part, and then when the meat is done in there, you're going to taste it again. Do you understand what I'm saying? Alright, so see, I'm going to keep stirring this until this cooks down. So remember what I said, until the onions are translucent. When you can see through these onions, or when those green peppers are an olive looking green. You don't want to overcook them, but you don't want to undercook them either. So there's some people that eat their green peppers like that, and that's perfectly fine for them. But if you're like me, I like mine cooked all the way, but I don't like it cooked to mush. So just watch it. Make sure your veggies still have some shape or form to them. Alright, so let's move on to the next part. So here we will put our diced tomatoes in. So same thing, you're going to put it in, you're going to stir it really well so you see the veggies have cooked down quite well, actually. Alright, so here's where the red part of our sauce is coming in. It's coming in with the tomatoes and obviously the tomato sauce. So, alright, so here we go. And you can use any kind of meat you want. So you can use a mild or a hot Italian sausage. Heck, you can even use bratwurst if that's what you have. You can use ground beef, ground lamb. You can use ground turkey. Alright, and so if you don't eat pork of some sort, then you can use turkey, ground turkey, and turkey Italian sausage. So that'll give you some variations with this as far as the meat that you put in here. So trust me, you can do a lot with spaghetti sauce. And sometimes you can use what you have in the kitchen already. We'd be surprised at what we have in the freezer and in the pantry that will make a great dish. So keep that in mind. And of course, we are coming into the fall season. So coming into the fall, we start cooking heartier meals. So as we start cooking chili mac, spaghetti, chili soup, stews, we start cooking roast and things like that. Although there are some people who cook them year round, there are other people who want lighter fare in the summertime and eat the heavier, more comfort foods towards the fall and winter. All right, so this is where we will put the rest of our ingredients in, or some more of the seasonings in that we haven't used, and some that we already have. So at some point, every seasoning I've listed will be used, especially after the sauce comes together and we taste it. So that's where we will start adjusting. So no fear that your food will be under-seasoned or over-seasoned. Don't worry about that right now, because we're good. Because right now at this point we're sprinkling. So we're putting a light coating of seasoning on the food, and then we're just letting that seasoning cook down into it at this step. So it's cooking down into the meat and the veggies, which is exactly what we wanted to do. All right, so we're gonna stir this, we're gonna let this go a little bit, then we're gonna come back and we're gonna put the spaghetti sauce in. All right, in goes the spaghetti sauce. All right, in goes the spaghetti sauce. It's already bubbling. It smells so good too. You know when you're cooking your food and it just permeates through the entire house and something smells great. Just love it. I love cooking anyway. Alright, so we're going to get to a debate very quickly before we get to the end of this video. Sugar or no sugar? Yes. An exuberant amount of it? Absolutely not. A teaspoon or a tablespoon of it? Yes. It brings out the flavor of the tomato sauce. This is not a dish where you're supposed to taste sugar. Like this is supposed to be sweet. There are people who put sugar on their spaghetti. That's fine. That's a choice they make. Your kitchen, your rules. But I'm telling you the purpose of the sugar in this sauce. Alright, so it kind of, it amps up the tomato flavor in here. So it takes away any bitterness you might have. So it kind of balances out that savory flavor we look for in a sauce. Alright? So now you know the purpose. If you didn't know before, now you know the purpose of putting a bit of sugar in your spaghetti. Alright? Alright, more seasonings. I'm going to stir it up. Alright, so you're going to taste and adjust at this point. So you'll taste, and then you'll decide if you need more black pepper, more salt, you need more oregano, more basil. You know, you'll. And so keep in mind that you can always put more seasonings in, but if you put too much, you can't take it out. So that's why you season here, you season there, you taste, you taste, you taste, you season. That's the purpose of doing that. So that you do not, for sure, and especially over salt it, because there's just no way. This is not one of those dishes that you can put a potato in and draw the salt out of it. That's not going to work. So if you over salt it, you're not going to be able to fix it. Unless you just add a lot more spaghetti sauce or whatever you Okay, so just want to be careful with that, because if you do over season and you do end up having to put more spaghetti sauce in it, then it's almost like you have to start all over again with seasoning. So season, taste, season. You see what I'm saying? So you don't want to do it. So just sprinkle some at a time and taste it like that. That's going to make it easier in the kitchen to get a great spaghetti sauce and get a great spaghetti sauce the first time you attempt it. All right. So this is good. So you see, I am constantly doing what I'm telling you. So that's why I say there's these sorts of dishes, there's no set amount to put in there because everybody's taste buds are different. Everybody likes a different amount of something. So you just want to make sure you're making it and that you love it when you make it. If you love it, trust me, the people around you will too. That's for sure, and no doubt about it. There we go. There we go. Tablespoon of sugar in there. Tablespoon of sugar, but you will not taste that sweetness. Not in my spaghetti sauce, you will not. So don't put more than a tablespoon either. So you just want to make sure. This tastes really good. So you're going to cook this, like I said, remember from earlier, you're going to cook this 2 to 3 hours at least, especially if this is after work or something. But you know, if you're home and you can put this in a slow cooker or you can put it on a simmer, then you can cook it between 5 to 6 hours. It'll just come out perfectly. So the longer you cook it, the better it tastes. So it's like chili. You know what I'm saying? All right. I hope so anyway. All right. So this is good. I really appreciate you guys watching. And I'm telling you, really, go make this. Go make some great spaghetti sauce. Leave me a comment down below. Thanks for watching. See y'all next time. As always, I appreciate you. Hit that like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.